Janice Edwards. Coming up on Bay Area Vista, we're on location at the Box in San Francisco, where the art of networking is taking place. It's about making connections, finding work, and celebrating your passion. That's next. Join us.
Bay Area Vista, Vista. Bay Area.
Hi, I'm Janice Edwards. Thank you for joining us on location for Bay Area Vista, the art of networking here at the Box in San Francisco. We wanted to come here today because this is where a lot of people are not only exchanging business cards, but they're talking about their passion and connecting on a different level. That's the vision of Mark Sackett. We'll talk with him in just a moment. But first, Lola Kanmu talks with some of the participants tonight.
I'm here so that I could meet interesting people and find out ways to help them.
Actually, I've known about the Box SF event for a few months now, and I decided today to take the plunge, as it were, and to try to get out and network with people. Well, actually, let me not say network, but relationship build, because what I've noticed was to your typical networking event is what you have, let's say, the one-night stand of networking where people are so super excited to see you, but everything kind of fizzles out after that initial meetup.
What type of job are you looking for, and what are the challenges you've been facing in your job search?
Well, right now, because it's been kind of frustrating for me, it's starting to narrow down. It's starting to narrow down and broaden at the same time. So it's now, I don't want to do finance. I don't want to do accounting. I can do them, but you wouldn't want me to.
For me, I'm in a unique position because I'm not necessarily looking for work, nor at the same time looking to pitch a product, as much as I'm just trying to build actually, a community to which, I can support here in San Francisco, friends, colleagues, esteemed professionals, people who are just, wise and inquisitive to be around.
I heard about this event online. I have this wonderful company that I'm working with called One Taste, and we're educators and researchers on the female orgasm.
Just trying to meet some people and see if they have any abilities for me to help find a job. I never really try to find someone who can flat out be like, here's a job, not a problem, just give me your card, that sort of thing. I'll take that. I won't hold anything against that. But more, it's, can you give me the process? Can you show me someone to talk to? Do you know where there's an opening that I can fill? So that's the main thing.
I just graduated with an MBA from Cardinal Stritch in Wisconsin, and I decided that the job market out here would be a lot more friendly, a lot more interesting, a lot more possibilities. So I moved out to the Bay Area. I packed up my Jetta and really just brought clothes and moved out here.
I was told by a friend of mine it'd be a good place to go to meet people I haven't met before, and maybe a chance to enhance my employment, my employment opportunity, because I've been unemployed for over 2 years now.
Now, where did you work before you were unemployed?
I worked at Bank of America for 35 years. I do stand-up comedy, and I write, but I haven't sold anything really of note.
I'm a freelance photographer, and then I have a background in sales, but I'm in transition, so I'm not working full-time. So I'm looking to meet, creative people who have creative opportunities, and I'm very open, and I don't know, I'm kind of looking for that next step in my own life.
I've been attending classes at the Marin Employment Connection, and they've taught us and they've stressed that this is not the time to look for your dream job. This is the time to use your strong suit and fall back on what you have experience in, because when I'm looking for jobs, everyone wants 5 to 10 years experience. I'm a recent graduate. It's kind of hard to take my experiences and make them look like 5 to 10 years experience.
I have a business in greeting cards, and I started this company with the idea of letting people know what they mean to you in 3 powerful words. So the company is called Who You Are to Me.
I've always loved networking, the idea of networking events, but I've never been to one where I actually connected with someone beyond the event. So you meet people, you get business cards, and then you're like, oh, you go home, and it's just kind of doesn't really go anywhere. Every single time I've come here, I've met at least one person that's now in my life, and making one connection is a huge deal. So that's, why wouldn't you come to a place like that?
Hi, I'm Mark Sackett, and welcome to the Box SF. It's interesting, I bought this building 7 years ago, And initially it was for our studios, for my advertising and marketing agency. And a couple of years ago, we were about to lose the building. It was going into foreclosure. And I went to a little concert down in the Mission, and 50 people were packed into a room smaller than we're standing in right now. And it was really hot, and it was really compromised is the best word I can come up with. 50 people crammed in, a gas stove in the corner making quesadillas, lights flickering on and off. I felt like I was in a fire trap, and I just sort of had this aha moment where I thought, artists deserve better, people deserve better. And I own this spectacular historic building. It's the old William Randolph Hearst printing plant where the Examiner was first printed in the 1930s. And I came in on the following Monday morning and I said, we're going to turn this into an event space and we're going to call it the Box SF. And we're going to move all these desks out of our main room because we had done layoffs. We were trying to save the room, or save the building. And I said, we're going to make this a place where people can come and gather and have events. And so we already had this table. I had built this as my conference table initially for the agency. These are 325-year-old Village Gate doors from China. And they're just spectacular. And then I designed this center steel leaf for them. And the table is now the largest dining table on the West Coast. It seats 32 people. And we can seat 52 in here for dinners.
Others on the scene might never be me, might never be cross or try to be boss.
We are going to do something a little different here tonight. How many people have been here before? Raise your hands, please. Hi. All right, so these are the people you want to talk to. We have a couple rules at the Art of Active Networking. One is you are not allowed to sit with somebody that you know really well or that you came with. So for those of you who are newly married, Jason, you're not allowed to sit next to your bride. And for those of you who came with somebody else as your safety net, you're about to lose them. So when we do sit down, sit next to somebody that you don't know. You're at a networking event, for Christ's sake, all right?
Mark, this has been a vision of yours for a while. Explain why you decided to include the Art of Active Networking as part of what happens at the Box SF.
Well, you know, in 2009 when I started the Box SF, one of the things that I really recognized was that a lot of people were losing their jobs. They were moving into these points of sort of paralyzation and fear, and they really didn't know where to turn. They were laid off from their jobs, they were losing their homes, their passionate careers were dissipating in front of them, and they were just sort of sitting there. They didn't know how to use their networks, they didn't know what to do. And you know, I had been in that place at one point, and I thought, you know, well, how did I get myself out of it? What did I do? And I thought, you know, there's these principles and these beliefs that I have around my network and about how I connect with people. And I really felt that there was an opportunity to broker a conversation. And Monday nights here at the Box SF is probably the one night of the week that we are really the least rented. And so I thought, well, why don't we use Monday nights for networking? We'll make Monday nights for a way to people to socially connect, to use social media. We'll broker the conversation, we'll make introductions, we'll have a bar, we'll maybe have some food, whatever we can do. And we'll invite people here to have a conversation. And that's kind of how it started.
Right, and so the whole conversation is what's different. At a lot of networking events, people exchange cards, and I mean, they're talking with each other. But what you do here with the circle is that everyone talks about their passion, and there are those 4 questions. Why those 4 questions, and what are they? Just to review.
Well, okay, so you have to answer 4 questions in 30 seconds. And the 4 questions are, who are you? What is it that you do for a living or want to be doing? Why are you specifically here tonight? Something brought you here. And what is it in life that you're most passionate about?
Good evening, my name is Linda Eskridge, and I'm going to start with my passion, which are my children. And because of this, I quit the corporate world 3 years ago, and I started my own company as a virtual assistant. I had 25 plus years as an executive assistant, and I wanted to be home with them, and now I am a virtual product launch strategist who I help small businesses with their products they want to launch but have no idea who their competitors are, nonetheless know who their target markets are. So I go and help them with all the strategy, and when we get done...
That's awesome. Great job.
I get to help people every day with be the best marketers on earth.
And I'm lucky enough to work with a bunch of passionate people and when we work with people, we decide what is their why. Why do they do what they do? And if your why doesn't make you cry, it's not good enough.
I'm here because I'm really a giver. I'll give pretty much until I have nothing left to give. And I'm passionate about enjoying life at the intersection of art, science, and of course love.
I know that it's a hard paradigm. I know that it's a mind shift for you guys, for some of you, to change that attitude to say, wait a minute, I'm not going to talk about myself. I'm not going to sell myself. I'm actually going to help the person to my left or my right. What a weird idea. What do I get out of that? I don't get anything out of that. You will get it if you try it.
I am currently a marketing consultant in the Bay Area, and my passions are toting my kids around to their sporting events on the weekends, and it keeps me young, and also starting up a health insurance business for individuals, self-employed and unemployed, and educating people on all the ins and outs of that tricky business.
My name is Bronwyn, and I have a holistic medical practice where I help people to become more alive.
My name's Ali Hussain. I do technology consulting for a living in the software as a service space. I have a couple of different passions that I'm willing to, work with anyone who's interested in, coming and hanging out.
I work for a big corporation, so I'm one of those that raise my hand for staying on a job. I love what I do. My company allows me to travel the world. But part of the downside about being on a job that's traveling all the time is I don't have a social life. And if you even need a coffee with someone, scrambling through my list, and you can never find someone to have a coffee.
What I'm passionate about is moving on with my life and creating an organization of prosperity and mutual respect. I'm here to learn, here to grow, learn from all of you guys, and hopefully turn into a better version of myself. Thanks.
I'm passionate about Bay Area Vista, which is why we're here tonight, sharing stories about you.
I'm here because my office is me, myself, and I, and we all get along really well.
I'm here to meet people. This is one of the very interesting rooms I've ever been to, because I want to do branding and marketing in my life, and I see a lot of marketers around here.
Have relationship. Every project I've ever done has come from relationship and referral. And I would argue that most of you, if you analyze your businesses, if you analyze your career, most of the great work you've ever done has come from relationship and referral.
I really would like to connect with each and every one of you before you go home tonight. But for the most part, if you could just take a half hour out of your day, every day or some days, and go back and look at all these cards and figure out what it is that you can do as a person. What is it that you can do to help somebody in this room? You're going to be getting this back time and time and time and over and over and over again. This group makes me a better person. It makes me a better man, which allows me to be a better husband to my wife who sits down at the end of this room. And I want to thank each and everybody in this room for that. I'm a VP of sales for a media communications company. I'm the director of sales for an IT company. I'm passionate about one thing, and she's sitting down at the end of the room. Right? So here's my wish to each and every one of you in here. I hope you all find the happiness that I found with her at least once in your lives. Let's make this a productive meeting for the rest of the night, okay? Thank you.
We were talking about the art of active networking, but let's back up a little bit and share about the number of businesses that you own.
Well, I mean, it's arguably they're either businesses or divisions, but I would say they're passions. So basically, I've taken every hobby and turned it into a business.
Let's look at the funk.
Reflector is how I was trained. I mean, I'm an art director, graphic designer, director for television commercials. Websites, branding, identity, package design, advertising, graphic design. then I had an opportunity to purchase part of the first gay and lesbian film studio in the world 5 years ago called Funny Boy Films. And I was the only straight partner in the gay film studio. We produced a movie called Latter Days with Jacqueline Bisset that was critically acclaimed.
Yes.
And then we did a movie called Adam and Steve with Parker Posey, and I was co-executive producer on that film. And we won Tribeca. And then I decided that at the time I was single, and I thought, well, this is going to kill my dating life if I continue to work on gay films. And so I started my own studio called Articulation Films. And so we produce independent feature films with budgets of $2 to $10 million. Then I started a record label because since I've been 7 years old, I play drums. And I've always had this passion for drums and music, and so I started a record label because I felt that artists deserved to have an opportunity to do better. And so I started producing CDs and working with artists. And I am passionate about books, and so I started a publishing division of our company called the Etling Press, which is my ex-wife, who is my business partner. It's her grandmother's name. So in honor to her, we called it the Etling Press. Her name was Etling. And then in 2009, from really the only business that I've started from a point of pain, I started the Box SF. And that's because the building was going into foreclosure. We had a 12.5% loan. We were about to lose the building. And I was, like many people in the room here tonight, was paralyzed. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to turn. I moved into this complete point of idleness and fear. And I went to this little concert, which I explained earlier, and I saw a friend of mine perform in this little tiny, honestly kind of crummy space, and 50 people crammed into a room half this size, and I felt like I was in a fire trap, and I literally came back here to this space where I had just laid off half of my staff, and I looked at all these empty desks. Excuse me. And it killed me to know that I'd let my staff go. And it killed me to know that I was letting myself down. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to turn. I had all the tools available to me and I wasn't using them. I didn't know what to do. I moved into a point of fear. And I was paralyzed. And I sat on the floor of this building, on the top floor of this building in the middle of the night, and I said, artists deserve better, people deserve better, I deserve better, and I'm going to call this the Box SF, and things will happen inside the box, and we won't talk about thinking outside the box, we will talk about thinking inside the box. And we're going to make this a place where people connect. And our tagline is see, shop, listen, taste, learn, and connect at the Box SF. And I wanted to make this San Francisco's first social media space, San Francisco's first connecting space. And everybody does it. I mean, there's a lot of event spaces in town. We have wonderful competitors that we refer a lot of business to, and they refer business to us. It's a really loving, creative community. But I wanted to do something different.
Well, I remember being here in 2009 when you first
started
to talk about this vision for the box.
Right.
And now to see what has happened, because like you said, it was born out of pain, frustration, hurting others who you couldn't continue to keep in your employ. And now things have turned around.
Things have turned around. You know, it's funny. How
were you able to do that?
Well, I launched the Box SF. I built this entire space with no paid advertising. I did it using social media and the power of my network. And
so some people hear that, and even some people tonight said, well, I'm so busy building my business, I don't use social media.
Right.
Explain how you do it and why you've been able to do it so well where other people find it very intimidating.
Well, how often do you hear from me?
Often, right.
You're a friend.
Yes.
You're as sick of hearing me from it as anybody.
I love hearing from you, Mark, but
you
do
know
send
what
out
I mean,
a lot of emails,
right?
and you are on
I send out a lot of emails. I'm on
yes.
Facebook, I'm on Twitter, I'm still on MySpace. I mean, I put it out there. And I know I'm on 52 social media sites. And when you're on 52 social media sites, you're going to rank in Google higher than somebody who's on 3. And I know that. If you come from a point of need and want, you will not get what you need or what you want. If you come from a point of giving, you will get what you want tenfold. I want to give to people, but if I said, I need 50 people at this event, I would never get 50 people at that event, okay?
And even the numbers for some networking events might be considered smaller, but there's an intimacy that you want here. You want people to really feel like they were seen, they were heard, they might leave with an opportunity to connect with someone who could make a difference and for whom they can make a difference.
Right, and the whole point of here is giving, it's not taking. So you might leave here and say, I only got 2 business cards. You know what? Maybe you only need 1.
I've already gotten one really good connection.
I love the message behind it, which is not about selling your product, but it's about actively listening and see what you can do to help others, because when you help others, it comes back and help you.
This is not my career. I'm not the networking guy, but I'm a damn good networking guy, okay?
You are.
I've never met a stranger, love people, I'll engage with anybody. I don't care if it's the former president of the United States who I've met and had a conversation with, or if it's somebody on the street with a shopping cart.
Here I feel there's an opportunity to develop relationships, get to know people, and kind of build like relationship by knowing the people, and then seeing if businesses sell. It's like believing in the concept of abundance and going from there.
My bio, it says, I don't believe in words like don't, can't, shouldn't, and won't. Those aren't in my vocabulary. I don't believe in them. And we tell ourselves the story of don't, can't, shouldn't, and won't too often. You tell it to me, somebody else tells it to me. Of course it does.
Seeing possibilities.
Don't color on the walls. Don't touch that, you're going to burn yourself. It starts at 3 years old, and we drum creativity and possibility out of our kids by the time they're 6.
Out of a desire to keep them safe, of course.
Out of a desire to think we keep them safe. But you know what's great for not burning your hand? But it's not. Who cares if you color on the walls? Seriously? You know, who cares? What does it hurt? Paint the wall, okay? So the idea that I might get to talk to people, or at this event, I don't care if I'm in Turkey, I don't care if I'm here at the Box SF, I don't care if I'm in New York at an event with 23 people. But if I can change one life, or I can broker a conversation that makes one person make a connection, or one person change their story, change your life, change your story, change your world, okay? And that's why I do it.
From my experience in the business world, and then just, I guess, personally going out meeting people who seem to come here, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the fact that this place is like an old printing press and it's this beautiful, the ambiance is amazing. Mark is so passionate about people, and the thing you hear here is how everyone is passionate about people. And I think when people come in to help each other rather than just thinking about helping themselves, it changes the whole dynamic, and it's worked for me, so hey, if it works, keep doing it, right?
I've had people thanking me. People are still here talking. I don't even know what time it is, but we're an hour past when the event's supposed to end. They're still in there talking, and they're still in there connecting.
Yes, genuine connection.
And they're following up with each other. And they're following up because they're talking about their passionate purpose, the story is gone, and they genuinely care about one another.
Mark, thanks so much. If you'd like to contact Mark, details are on our screen about how to reach him and how to find out more about the art of active networking. Well, here's hoping that you are making great connections, living your passion, and finding people with whom you can connect on a deeper level. That's why we were here, and thank you so much for joining us. I'm Janice Edwards, and that's our show. Thank you for all that you do to make our Bay Area the great place that it is. Please join us again next time. We look forward to seeing you then. And now, more networking. Hi, how are you? Yeah, doing well. Have you enjoyed tonight?
Yeah, it was nice. Yeah.
Oh, good. Do you think you'll do more in the future? Will this help you in any way?
Yeah, I like the way Mark organizes things, and I like his philosophy, the philosophy of getting together that he shares with us.
Because I am terminally curious about people. I love all your stories. I love hearing all your stories. I'll have coffee with you, except I'll drink tea because I've never had a cup of coffee in my life. But I love talking to people. So my question is, and this is another challenge that I will issue, go out and talk to 3 strangers tomorrow for no reason. Because we talk to people because we need something from them. But we pass people on the streets. How many times do you ask somebody during the day, how are you? How many of you actually listen to the idea or listen to the answer? I'm fine. Really? Seriously? How many of you are fine? Really? Fine is average at best. And you might have a hangover, you might have a headache, you might be in a really pissy mood. And you're like, why do you say you're fine when you're really not fine? You know? Answer honestly. Or engage them and hear their story. Because there's a lot of people out there who have stories to tell who just really, really want to have somebody to talk to.